fire in the flames to arise brighter than ever.
On the final mission, which could frustrate players that are completing the game. But this bug was fixed way back in 2018 on PC, so I don't really know why it wasn't on the Xbox Series X copy. And that PC port, well, it ran and looked the absolute worst. For some reason, it has a lot of cool, exclusive content, like new trees, a lack of reflections, the depth of field was fucked, just like the volumetric lighting. I mean, really, a lot of visual content was stripped with this port, as well as the performance side effects. The saddest part is when you realize that the original atmosphere the game had fucking radio station. One of the most iconic ones for the game, in fact. And one of the tracks wasn't even released until 2016? When does this game take place again? Also on the PC port, basically every weapon is broken as fuck and has nearly no spread whatsoever. Not to mention the animations for the assault rifles were given a delay for some reason. And some other questionable balancing changes were made, like the Annihilator. Now all of this does sound small, but all of this added on top of each other, it really makes the gameplay clunky and repetitive, especially in PvP. It's far too quick for the game.
Be right back. An ally has been slain.
My people.
The gameplay does go.
Be right back.
Of their later online iterations resides here, whether it's for Red Dead, Max Payne 3, or fucking GTA 5 Online, and they spat in its face with this. However, it's quite clear they were working on GTA 4 Online to make it compatible with the newest social club, which I have talked about in a previous video. In short, with the debug menu you can play LAN multiplayer with the latest patch and it will utilize your social club name. There's apparently numerous references seen in programs like Cheat Engine They even revamped all. It will be released later down the line, maybe in the form of a remaster, or just another shitty update.
Hello?
Accept defeat. I am proud of you.
Thanks.
We will try again.
No problem.
Closer. The gentle.
Got them both. Double kill. With this
Arga. Strike now.
And then some. Of course, this guide only applies to the PC version. Real quick, I'll mention now that the state of multiplayer is really weird. There's various kinds you can use. The original Games Wonders Live version, or the fan-created multiplayer mods. And thus, I don't really feel comfortable talking about it in this video. It will become outdated very quickly. And so I lied. I won't be going over everything I mentioned. But if anything changes, however, I will make an additional video. Until then, I'll link external methods below. I will also link an alternative to this video. If you prefer text guides, you'll open it with that program, and then drag and drop everything into an isolated folder. Run the .exe file as administrator, and then it'll help you through the rest of the process. Now, I will make some quick notes. During the mod section, I would highly recommend all of them except ScriptHook, unless you plan on modding further. But that's another topic for a different video. You can also uncheck Zilliqus Trainer, unless you plan on utilizing it. If you can't find them, make sure your file name extensions is enabled in the File Explorer. Now, right before you actually do downgrade, I highly recommend checking the backups box here, or if you need the original files for whatever reason. Once you've completed the downgrader steps, head to your game's location and ensure it actually works. But if it doesn't, chances are it's related to a restriction for the game's location, whether it's your antivirus or you're not an admin in your computer. But generally, if it was your antivirus, the file most commonly flagged is Zilliqapatch. So if you do run into issues, ensure that zilliqapatch.asi is in your game's location. If it's not, create an exclusion for that mod in your antivirus, then grab it again within the downgrader files, or the official mod page. Now, as I said at the beginning, the performance on this game ain't great, but I will make one important point that applies to everyone: your in-game settings. If you're on 1070 or 1080,
Be gone from here. Closer.
Your middle phoenix.
The gentle touch of fire. Enemy missing left. cannot handle the heat. Yes.
No!
Are extremely taxing on the game's performance and can cause light flickering at the highest numbers. Now before you leave this video, I would recommend doing a couple more things. When you first launch the game, open a volume mixer and turn this bitch-ass game down, because for some reason the loading screen doesn't really match your audio settings, and so it's originally loud as fuck. And finally, if you plan on modding a lot, open Task Manager, head to the settings, and enable Always on Top. I would also change the default tab to Details, as sometimes when a process is really frozen, it won't show up on the Process tab. Now, the reason why I'm recommending this is because if your game ever freezes, you can press Ctrl-Shift-Escape to open the Task Manager, followed with the arrow keys, and then press Delete to close it. And that's it. Your game is properly set up. If you're going to continue modding, this is your absolute foundation, excluding external modding tools. Otherwise, enjoy your proper GTA 4 copy. You are able to run from Steam and everything should work as expected. Anyway, bye.
Weird. And not to be pedantic, but it's not even the right colour. It would have been so much less memorable if it was literally just red and white like lighthouses are supposed to be. Then, nearby, that means you would have also ran into the also abandoned, longest, darkest, most out-of-place tunnel that has ever had any business just existing. It's implied to be a disused section of train track, but it just starts and ends right here. There's nowhere it could have even gone when it wasn't disused, because it just reason the player should be here. In a game like GTA, work was put into this, real work and effort, but for what other reason than to elicit these unsettling feelings? It doesn't matter when or even if it's ever explained, and in this case it isn't anyway, because it's the mansion, because it's just the most accessible by far, for one. Just that never made it in for whatever reason. And that might, at the very least, sense of you being out of place, like you shouldn't be here, that you're trespassing, because of the fight to get in. But what's even here to trespass?
Apollo!
That's the point. They're like the skeleton version of the buildings that were ominous enough when they were complete. And here they're equally as barren and void of life. Justifiably so, at least, but still it's a weirdly large amount of space to give something that's used as much as it is. It's a whole quarter of an island. Also because it's right next to the hospital.
Sir Kwong.
Resident Evil, or more so, the opening of Silent Hill 2. If it wasn't for the fact that Silent Hill 2 wouldn't even be out for another year after this. And this aspect specifically is something that's always tripped me up whenever I talk about it, because if you really wanted to read into it way too much, it would seem to imply that they were aware of what their game looked like on the surface. My favourite area though, by far, not just on the island, but in the game, is the one I just so happened to discover last. This whole time playing this game for years, sometimes to 100% completion, although most of the time not, I was just completely unaware that this one footpath at the very top that only really serves to give you this weird view of the third island's abandoned picnic area and cliff face. But it's like lined with these beautiful street lights, cobblestone walls, park benches pointing out to the lights of distant apartment blocks. It feels like it's encouraging me to play the game in this way, because ultimately it is really only that. But I love it so much just because it does everything the game does well. Well, the fact that I only ran into it for the first time recently stands as a testament to the game's weird design choices that led to the state it was released in. It's where this aspect peaks, because it's such a nice little spot for such an irrelevant part of the game, especially if you're looking at it in terms of gameplay. But even when you're not, since there's not even a hidden package or collectible here. Because through playing this, you slowly start to get the impression, by running into them, that all the hidden packages were some desperate attempt at giving a point to all the otherwise unused space in.
Okay.
Terrific! Defend middle lane!
No blade shall pierce my hide. The eyes of a dragon shall be upon them.
Your eventual introduction to the game's third island comes as reluctantly as it possibly could have, falling flat on your lap almost like it was only really because it had to. And even then it feels way more like an extension of the second that didn't even really need to be here at all, to be honest. Needless to say, and unsurprisingly at this point, it feels like it couldn't even really exist. But not in the same way as the other areas. Like even in this game's world it shouldn't. Mostly due in large part because unlike the previous one, and other than the parts I've mentioned already, very little of it is visible to you at first. I mean, yeah, sure, because both there isn't much to see and even really here at all anyway, but I think the point is to create the sense that it isn't even really part of the rest of the map at all, as if it's upstate, in the country. As much as that was possible anyway. Yeah, there's also the fact, and not that it's necessarily the case here, but most games do tend to have their second half just hanging off anyway, which is normal and would seem to explain some of the most standout oddities. Like, it feels almost as if it was made by someone in some kind of hectic state, sort of frantically putting shit just anywhere, and arbitrarily drawing lines between 2 points, joining them with roads that were already started, but that just had no real intended destination. It has easily by far the strangest, most nonsensical layout ever conceived, and when your layout, your undecorated outline of a map is uncanny, you can only really go up from there. Obviously, you get used to it eventually, but it's as hard to explain as it is to navigate. It's almost as if the island is 2 separate mini-islands with their own districts, joined by one giant figure-of-8 loop. It creates the sense that everything is deceptively further away than it appears, and there's this learning curve to knowing which way around is the quickest to get anywhere. It feels like the roads just end and pick up all over the place where they shouldn't. Sometimes not even picking up at all, and a lot of the time not even feeling like there's any real point to them, because there's no destination. And yet they're all still somehow bunched up enough to need these constant elevated bridges and ramps, knotting them all together in this giant mess that's way more complicated than it needed to be. Meaning, ultimately though, that exploring the island puts you in this constant, permanent state of being lost even when you never really are. It's amazing and definitely not a bad thing, despite the fact it sounds like I'm complaining. Because, like I've said, it feels like the intention was to create some kind of outskirt, a scenic town in the hills. And the extent of that is just like this. And that's it. This one stretch of road. Because other than that, it mostly just ends up feeling like another Portland, for a bunch of reasons, the least of which being the almost identical apartment complex, but you know, there can be more than one in any city. Then there's all the warehouses, garages and industrial space that leaves it feeling like a dumping ground for assets that were just left over. Like a graveyard. Not that it is by any means, but it's so small and there's so much less to see here in comparison to the other islands that it feels like a kind of best of or greatest hits. Like a curated museum with a little industrial, commercial and residential district all in little tasters. The landmarks Shoreside Vale is known for, in quotes, because I feel like people don't really know this place at all, are mostly like the dam, the airport and the 2 tunnels into the game. The dam is this sprawling mega complex, the type of stuff you see in Megalophobia edits. It just makes you feel small and lost, and unlike every other industrial spot in the game, it's this eerily clean white wall curving off into the distance, disappearing behind the fog. It's this bleak, metallic machinescape, and again, because it's used for the final mission, if you're here at any other point, or if you didn't know that, it has this creepy feeling of being in wait for something. Like an empty shopping mall or school, everything is set up, in place, ready to be populated with people, collectibles, set pieces. But now it's just not. And the atmosphere of it all is only something that can really ever be shown. The tunnels are my favourite because after everything I've mentioned so far, they actually went out of their way to literally trap you here, in this world, in this hell. There's no escape. The only way in and out by road is through here, and you're not getting in and out through here. It's never explained, because it couldn't really ever be. It doesn't make any sense. It's an aspect of this realistic, grounded open world game that isn't realistic or grounded, leading you straight into thinking that this is real too. That this could happen to you. Sure, despite how unlikely that is, but isn't that what all horror media relies on? Everything you see driving and walking around just leads to such a weird view of this world, because it's scenic, which is the point, being the scenic part of the world, but it's scenic in the sense that you actually stop and view the scene. To see this. The game's airport is a perfect example of that. I mean, it might as well be its whole own area. As a concept, to add to the game, it's about as well thought out as the other public transport systems, in that it hardly is thought out at all. But at the end of the day, their only option was to either have a plane show up every 5 minutes, just to do a little circle on the tarmac, drop off and pick up no one, then leave again in the same direction, or to have nothing ever show up at all. Again, your attention is drawn to them more. It really is just one of the strangest and most atmospheric areas to explore in any game I've ever played. The airport is a liminal space in the most traditional sense and most literal meaning of the word. It's a physical location that's just no one's destination. Everyone here is just passing through, never to stop. And again, by everyone, I am of course only talking about the planes, assuming they have passengers, because ominously devoid of any other life, and it being an airport of all things, is amazing how Silent Hill 2 is not only the best horror game ever made, not even just the best game ever made, but it's just the game. Also, and more
Arachne.
Let the pain
see and feel is their fault, both when it works and is good and when it doesn't. That it's their own short-sighted lack of imagination, unwillingness to sit down and really get into something that's why they can't. Because to use this example, if, like me, you just always wanted more Silent Hill 2, it's everywhere. All around you. Even in the most unlikely of places, you just need to be prepared to look. Because it's in realizing all this that your third eye bursts from your forehead and you suddenly find yourself completely independent of pointless IPs corporations want you to believe are wholly unique to them. Just so they can monetize your interests and turn you into a reliably consistent revenue stream whenever they release a new product. It's just one big meme. So yeah, that's GTA 3. That is literally everything GTA 3 is to me, and that contributes to the feeling the game gives off. A feeling that I refer to as that GTA 3 feeling. To conclude though, finally, I need to address the fact that the longer these kinds of things go on for, the less digestible they are, meaning they're way less likely aware of that, and it's unfortunate, but at the same time, the more I need to admit in the interest of keeping it brief, the more room there is to interpret what I'm saying. Because, like I've said,
Are we gonna have a jump party? I love jumping!
Quiet.
I'm in love with it!
Minions have spawned. An enemy has left the game.
This is fun!
Superheroes 2 and LEGO 2K Drive, but today we're hopping into the super underrated LEGO Jurassic World. There are 50 trophies in this game, and the platinum takes anywhere.
That was pathetic. On my way. Be careful!
Enemy missing right.
Your left tower is under attack. An enemy has returned.
Does it tickle?
Enemy spotted. First blood. Are you jealous that you didn't get to slay that guy?
This is fun! But I was having so much fun.
Let's really hope your ally is fine with the concept of death.
Your left tower is under attack.
Maybe this will help me make new friends.
Your left tower is under attack. Your left tower is under attack. Retreat!
Enemy
Your
missing
middle
right.
tower is under attack.
It's playtime!
I'd want to kill that guy too, like for sure.
Nice job.
Night-night!
Enemy missing!
It's playtime! Does it tickle?
Your middle tower is under attack. Enemy spotted! Be careful! Your left tower is under attack. Your left tower is under attack. Your left tower has been destroyed.
ally's been killed, but an enemy has been slain.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Nice, nice. This is fun. It's playtime.
You have slain an enemy.
Oh,
Blessings
look at the
upon you.
time.
Catch me if you can.
Let's start a riot.
Mind your own business.
Are you jealous that you didn't get to slay that guy?
Your team has destroyed the right enemy tower.
Ayang Aris Tabin.
Enemies incoming right!
That's a killing spree, folks.
Attack!
On my way. Enemy spotted! Cancel that!
It's playtime. Tickle. Aw, aren't they the cutest? This is fun night.
Your right tower is under attack.
Right!
But I was having fun.
You have been
Attack!
Enemy spotted.
Steal your timber.
Enemies incoming left! Retreat left lane!
I'd want to kill that guy too, like for sure.
Attack! Your middle tower is under
To the
attack.
vanguard.
Rampage.
Your middle tower has been destroyed.
That was pathetic! Retreat!
It's playtime.
Defend left lane! On my way.
Your left tower is under attack.
Be careful, middle!
Up I go. Night, night.
Enemies at the Gold Fury!
It's playtime.
An enemy has been slain. You've been shut down. Blame somebody else. It's not your fault. Don't worry about it.
Does it tickle?
Are you jealous that you didn't get to slay that guy?
Night, night.
ally has been slain. I'd want to kill that guy too, like for sure.
Okay.
Defend middle lane. Defend middle lane.
It's playtime!
Attack middle lane.
Killing spree.
Your right tower is under attack.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Are you jealous that you didn't get to slay that guy?
You rock. Your left tower is
Defend
under
left
attack.
lane.
Your left tower has been destroyed. Your right tower has been
Defend
destroyed.
left lane.
Your left Phoenix is under attack.
Attack
Your right
lane.
tower is under attack.
Enemy,
Enemy
ultimate down.
incoming! On my way. Good spirit.
Oh, look at the time! Aw, it's not over yet.
So quickly. Understand that you died on purpose. That's a killing spree, folks.
Thanks. May glory be yours.
I'm in love with it! Night-night!
Enemy missing
Look at
middle.
the baby!
Cancel that. Gank middle lane.
I'd want to kill that guy too, like for sure.
This is fun! It's playtime! Up I go!
2 consecutive murders.
Your right tower is under attack.
Enemies at the
This'll
Gold
help me make
Fury.
new friends.
Killing.
The enemy team.
There's a double kill. Really impressive. Unfortunate, really. Like when Kepri says it in the other announcer pack. You know, shut down.
Defend right lane.
Your right tower is under attack.
Thanks.
Enemies incoming. Enemies incoming left. Be careful.
Retreat.
It's not over yet.
You have been extremely slain.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Monster enemies.
Your middle tower has been destroyed.
Are you jealous that you didn't get to slay that guy? An enemy has been slain.
Attack!
I'm in love with it.
An
An
unfortunate
ally's been
blunder.
killed, but you did really everything you could have this
We
time.
need wards! Enemies in the right lane. On my way.
The enemy team has destroyed the Pyromancer.
Retreat! Strong concoction.
Enemy team has destroyed the fire giant. Your right tower is under attack. Your right tower has been destroyed.
That's a killing spree, folks.
Your right Phoenix is under attack. Your middle Phoenix is under attack. Your right Phoenix is...
Are you jealous that you didn't get to slay that guy? Your ally has been slain.
Enemy spotted! Attack right lane. Attack left lane. On my way.
To the vanguard.
Defend left lane!
Maybe this'll help me make new friends.
Your middle Phoenix is under attack. Attack! Retreat!
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 Enemies incoming!
Defend!
To the vanguard.
Your left Phoenix is under attack. Your left Phoenix has been destroyed.
Rampage. Really hope your ally is fine with the concept of death. Double kill.
But I was having
Killing.
If you
You've been shut down like a bad restaurant. There's a double kill. Your ally has been
Retreat!
slain.
You rock! Your Titan is under attack. Your middle Phoenix is under attack.
to the vanguard.
That's a killing spree, folks.
You rock!
blessings upon you.
Titan is under attack.
Wrong concoction.
The enemy team has destroyed the pyramid. The enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
A new threshold. A new threshold. Retreat right lane.
Your right Phoenix is under attack.
An ally's been killed, but you did really everything you could have to stop that.
Your Titan is under attack. Your right Phoenix is under attack. Your left Phoenix is under attack. Your right Phoenix has been destroyed. Your left Phoenix has been destroyed.
An ally